You know those moments when everything around you just stops? No wind, no birds, not even a leaf moving. That's exactly what happened. Seconds before something walked straight into my camera frame that made me drop everything and run. I was out there for a simple shoot, nothing unusual, just another early morning waiting to film wildlife. The plan was to capture a few deer grazing near the ridge, but instead, I ended up filming something that made me question every instinct I had. At first, I didn't even notice it. The camera did. It was already recording when it appeared, the shape, just at the edge of the frame. Still, silent, watching. And when I finally looked up from the monitor, that's when I realized I wasn't the only one out there. I'll be honest, I've filmed wolves, bears, even been chased by wild boars once. But this was different. I don't scare easily, but what stepped into frame that morning? It made me run. That morning started like every other filming trip I've done. Quiet, still, and freezing cold. I'd been hiking since before sunrise, gear strapped to my back, chasing that perfect early light that only lasts a few minutes before the forest wakes up. The area I was in isn't exactly remote, but it's not the kind of place you just stumble across. It's a patch of dense woodland on the edge of a small valley, the kind where fog hangs low between the trees, and even sound seems to get trapped there. I was out to film deer that morning, a small herd that usually passes near a narrow stream around 8:30. They're shy, but predictable. I've tracked them for weeks, studying their routes, setting up cameras, just hoping to get a few clean shots for a documentary project I'd been working on. When you do wildlife filming long enough, you learn to listen more than you look. You start recognizing every sound. The flutter of a bird's wings, the crunch of a squirrel darting across dry leaves, even the echo of your own breath when the forest gets too quiet. But that morning, something felt off. No birds, no rustling, just silence. The kind that presses against your ears, like the whole forest is holding its breath. I brushed it off at first. Sometimes it happens when a predator's nearby, but I hadn't seen or heard anything. Nothing. So I set up my tripod near the clearing, checked my frame, adjusted the lens, and hit record. That's when I noticed it. A flicker of movement, right at the edge of the shot. I thought it was the wind playing tricks through the branches, but it wasn't. With the camera rolling, I settled in. I've done this hundreds of times. Hours of waiting for a few seconds of perfect footage. It's the kind of patience that either calms your mind or lets it wander too much. The light was perfect, soft gold filtering through the branches. You could almost see the dust floating in the air. Normally, this is when the deer start moving closer to the clearing. But that day, nothing showed. No movement, no sound, just stillness. After about 15 minutes, I started scanning the area through my telephoto lens. That's when I noticed something strange. The ground near the stream had marks. Not paw prints, not hooves. Longer, deeper. Whatever it was, it had weight behind it. Now to put that in perspective, deer tracks are about 6 to 8 centimeters long. These were almost double that, and the spacing suggested something walking upright, or at least something big. I zoomed in on the spot, thinking maybe it was a wild boar. They're known to roam here. Boars can weigh up to 200 pounds and run faster than you'd believe. Almost 40 kilometers per hour in short bursts. I wasn't too worried though. They usually avoid humans. Then, I caught movement. Just a blur between two trees, low to the ground. I froze, staring at the screen. It wasn't the deer. The shape was wrong. Bulkier. Slower. But what threw me off most was how quiet it was. Even large animals make noise. Leaves crunch, twigs snap. This one didn't. For a second, I thought maybe my eyes were just adjusting to the shadows. You'd be surprised how often the forest plays tricks on you. But when I looked back at the live feed, something was standing at the edge of the frame, perfectly still. At first, I thought the camera was glitching. You know how sunlight can sometimes bounce off the lens and make shapes look alive? But the frame didn't shift. The shape didn't move like light. It moved like something breathing. I leaned closer to the monitor, trying to focus. There it was, just beyond the tree line. A dark outline, standing upright. Too tall for a deer, too broad for a man. It wasn't doing anything, just standing there, half hidden behind the branches. For a second, I thought maybe it was another photographer. It happens sometimes. People wander into the area. But then I realized no one else knew I was here. And it wasn't wearing bright clothes or carrying gear, just still, watching. I zoomed in again, and that's when the autofocus locked onto its eyes. Two small reflections, not the normal green or yellow glow you get from animals. This was white, cold, like the light wasn't bouncing off, it was coming from them. My chest tightened. I remember whispering to myself, "What is that?" But I don't even think I made a sound. The thing tilted its head, slow, almost curious. And then it stepped forward. It didn't run. It didn't crawl. It just walked. Each step deliberate, like it knew I was there and wanted me to see it. The camera mic caught it all. The faint thud of its steps, the sound of wet earth pulling under its weight. That's when instinct took over. I looked up from the screen and for the first time saw it with my own eyes. No camera, no lens distortion. Just it. Tall, motionless. Close enough that I could see the outline of its shoulders between the trees. I don't know what gave it away. Maybe I moved. Maybe it saw the lens shift. But its head snapped toward me. And the moment it did, I ran. I didn't think, I just moved. The second its head turned, I felt that jolt of panic hit like electricity through my chest. My hands were shaking, trying to grab the camera, but I didn't even look to see if it was still recording. I just tore the tripod out of the ground and backed away. Every sound felt louder, every breath, every snap of a twig behind me. I didn't want to run. You never run in the wild unless you have to. But my legs weren't listening. They were already moving. The forest is thick in that area. Low branches, uneven ground, roots everywhere. I nearly went down twice. I kept glancing back, trying to see if it was following me, but the light between the trees was flickering. Too bright, too dark. I couldn't tell if something was moving or if my eyes were just panicking. At one point, I swear I heard something. Not footsteps, more like a deep exhale. It came from behind the trees, heavy, wet, close enough that I could feel it. That's when I stopped caring about the gear. I dropped the tripod completely, clutched the camera to my chest and sprinted. My boots were slipping on the wet ground, and every instinct in me was screaming, "Don't look back, just move." I don't know how long I ran. Maybe a minute, maybe less. It felt like forever. But finally, the trees started to thin, and I saw the dirt path I came in from. Sunlight hit me right in the face, and I just kept going until I hit open ground. I stopped there, completely out of breath, heart pounding so loud I couldn't hear anything else. I turned back toward the tree line. Nothing. No movement, no sound. Just the forest, still and silent, like it had swallowed everything. I don't know how long I stood there staring at that tree line. Every instinct was telling me not to go back, and I didn't. Not that day. I just kept my eyes fixed on the shadows, waiting for any sign of movement, but there was nothing. The forest looked normal again, like nothing had ever happened. Eventually, I forced myself to breathe, pulled the camera strap tighter around my neck, and started walking back toward my car. My hands were trembling so much I had to keep them pressed against my chest just to steady the camera. When I finally reached the trailhead, I sat down right there on the ground. I replayed the footage on the tiny screen, my heart still pounding, and I saw it. Frame by frame, the dark outline was there, clear as day. And just before I ran, you can actually see it shift. One step forward, then nothing. I must have watched that clip 100 times that night, slowed it down, zoomed in. I even pulled it into my editing software, trying to make sense of the shape, the proportions, the angle, the light. At first, I thought it was a person. Maybe someone camping or a hiker who got lost. But when I compared its height to the nearby tree, it didn't match. Whatever that thing was, it was at least 7 feet tall, maybe more. Out of curiosity, I reached out to a local wildlife biologist I've worked with before. I showed him the still frame, and he said, and I quote, "It's not any species native to that area." He guessed maybe a bear caught mid-step, but bears don't have that upright posture for long. And the face? It wasn't visible. Just those 2 light points where eyes should have been. There's a theory, it's backed by behavioral studies, that when humans experience fear in the wild, our brains start to fill in visual gaps. It's a survival mechanism. Your mind wants to see something, even if it's not really there. That could have been the case. Maybe the light hit the lens wrong. Maybe I misread a shadow. Maybe. But here's what doesn't add up. The sound. That slow, heavy breathing I heard. The mic picked it up too. I checked. It's faint, but it's there.